that what you do, say I'm going to work this line. Okay, you feel that pressure, Breffney?
Uh-huh.
What I want you to do is to breathe into that pressure now. So push my arm away with the breath. And as he breathes in, okay, hold that breath. Then I iron. And then when I feel he needs to breathe out, then, okay, and release. Breathe out. And again, we might need to divide into several sections. So you get someone to breathe in to your pressure.
That's cool.
Again, with a chiseling movement. Okay, so you find the depth of resistance, you engage the line of resistance, and then say, okay, breathe into my pressure, push my arm away with your breath, and as they do that, then you put the whoops, it was a bit of an awkward one. Then you do the glide, and what this does is it greatly increases the intensity of what's going on. If you think, going back to things we said earlier, that one of the things we're trying to do with body work, whether it's exercises or hands-on work, is to increase the tension, pressure, whatever in the body for a brief period of time and then release it. My elbow is creating pressure and tension, his breath then amplifies that. Then when we finish and he breathes out, you have intensified tension and then an intensified relaxation as he breathes out. So particularly, in fact, with thoracic work, getting someone to breathe in. You can also do it with a basic myofascial stretch without the ironing in. So I find my line, I lean in, okay, breathe in to my pressure. And then as he breathes out, then we might find we get a release and we can go further. So that is a very useful strategy. And it's kind of counterintuitive because we've been told over and over and over again, only give pressure on the out breath. But now what we're saying is give pressure on the in breath in order to create an intensified response and a bigger release. It also works very nicely with rabbit going down the hole. Okay, breathe in. And out. And then as he breathes out, I'll go in that little bit deeper because we've got that bigger release. So that's a nice little technique to add. Okay, we'll keep recording, so we'll get the next bit on. This is the alternate thoracic release. This is one the clients will only thank you for afterwards. It's to be done once only, on each side, most definitely. And this will release, it'll release the myofascia, it'll also do a lot of release at the level of the vertebrae, and that kind of deeper sort of spinal mobilization level. It's a very, very intensive technique. It's something to do with robust, well-muscled clients who are very, very tight and inflexible in their thoracic area, and it can be very uncomfortable to receive, but it doesn't go on too long. But the degree of release that you get from it is tremendous. So what we're going to do is we're going to start round about the lower thoracics, and I'm not quite using the tip of the elbow, I'm just a little bit above the tip there. And I very often have the other hand just giving some support around. Sink in till I find the depth barrier, engage a line of resistance, and then I very, very slowly iron alongside the spine, right, And again, I'm using his breath, riding it. If I come to a particularly tight bit, I might just gently pause and wait for the next in-breath. And as he breathes into that area, I intensify a little bit more. And out. And I continue to glide. As I come into the upper thoracic, there's much less depth of tissue and the tissue is less dense. I'm going more onto the flat just above the elbow, so it's a flatter, less penetrating kind of response. So we'll just glide that out at the end. So we've gone with a really long, slow glide right the way up. And so we're using that bit just above the point of the elbow, not the actual elbow point.
Right. So we get between the point. At the beginning you're right with your point though.
Yeah.
And it's got to be thoracic.
Yeah. I wasn't ever right on the point.
No.
I'm close to the point, but what I do as I come up is I flatten more.
Mm-hmm.
So up here
Mm-hmm.
I'm really using a little bit of the upper arm on the thinner tissues, because if I keep right on the edge it can be a little too much up here. And then you go and do that on the other side. Depths of resistance, line of resistance, and off we go. I tend to do this on my rugby players and weightlifters.
Wow, this is
Okay.